My world was turned upside down 6 months ago when my wife, whom I've been married to for over 2 decades, dropped a bombshell on me. At 45 years old, she revealed that she wanted a divorce, leaving me utterly stunned and questioning how I could have been so blind to the cracks in our marriage. Sure, we had our fair share of quarrels and financial stresses, just like any other couple, but I never imagined they would escalate to this breaking point. Growing up without a father figure in a dilapidated village house, I had worked relentlessly to provide a better life for my family. I poured my heart and soul into building a comfortable home in the suburbs for my wife and our 2 children, a 19-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter. I went to great lengths to ensure they never experienced the hardships I faced in my own childhood. They still live with us and have never known true need, a stark contrast to my own upbringing. My wife accuses me of manipulating the children, turning them against her, but I don't believe I'm responsible for their conflicts. Whenever heated arguments erupted between my wife and the kids, I would take the time to speak with each of them separately, hoping to understand their perspectives and ease the tension. However, my wife perceives this as me consistently siding with the children, undermining her authority. I've patiently explained to her on numerous occasions that my goal is simply to listen and comprehend both sides of the story, mediating if possible to find a resolution. Despite my efforts, it seems that my wife and children are incapable of being in the same room for even a short while without it devolving into a verbal sparring match. I know in my heart that I should stand unwaveringly by my wife's side, but when she unleashes her anger on the children, I can't help but step in to separate them and diffuse the situation. On the flip side, when I've raised my voice or meted out punishment to the kids for their misdeeds, my wife becomes enraged, accusing me of being too harsh and overreacting. Over the course of the past year, my wife has been spending an increasing amount of time with a divorced male friend who lives next door. He moved back in with his mother about 2 years ago, after his own marriage fell apart. My wife would often invite him over to fix electrical issues while I was away on business trips, and she made sure to include him in all our family celebrations. I tried to broach the subject with her, questioning whether we were allowing him to become too enmeshed in our family life. But she brushed off my concerns, maintaining that they were simply close friends who enjoyed engaging in conversations on a variety of topics. One fateful night, following a particularly volatile argument, my wife, in a drunken state, stormed out of the house and sought refuge with this family friend, claiming he was the only one who truly understood her. She returned home an hour later, declaring that she no longer loved me and wanted a divorce. The next morning we had a heavy discussion, and she agreed that we should try to salvage our marriage. The following 6 months were a whirlwind of stress and uncertainty for me. There were glimmers of hope, weeks where our relationship seemed to be on the mend, better than it had been in years. I tried my best to overlook the neighbor's presence, but his proximity still gnawed at me, a constant source of worry. About 3 months ago, my worst fears were realized when I returned home early from a business trip and caught them together in my own house. She was apologetic, claiming she didn't know how it happened and that something had come over her. She swore it was a one-time mistake and that she harbored no romantic feelings for him. In an act of forgiveness, I chose to believe her and redoubled my efforts to rekindle the happiness in our marriage. Now, I feel like the world's biggest fool. Just last week, she informed me that she had secured a job and would be temporarily living with a friend. It came out of nowhere, blindsiding me once again, especially since she had never taken such drastic steps before. I had truly believed we were making progress, that our relationship was slowly healing, but evidently, I was only deceiving myself. She hurled accusations at me, blaming me for all her misery, claiming I was never there for her, never understood her, and that she needed to break free to rediscover herself. In a final act of separation, she changed all her passwords a few days ago and blocked me on her phone, insisting she just wants to be alone. I can't bring myself to accept that she would willingly choose to abandon our family, our children, for the neighbor. Deep down, I still cling to the hope of winning my wife back, of mending what's been broken, but I'm at a complete loss as to what steps to take next. The future seems uncertain, and my heart feels shattered. But I know I must find the strength to navigate this uncharted territory for the sake of my children and myself.